Your thoughts are not always your own. Every single day, unseen forces hijack your emotions, your brainwaves. They hijack your decisions, your ability to think for yourself, to go within. And you don't even realize that you are being programmed. From my studies, traveling all over the world and looking into ancient civilizations, the ancients knew that sound, frequency, and vibration can literally unlock consciousness. They realized that today, those same forces are being weaponized against you. They understood that they could transform a civilization based on frequency and vibration. They understood that in these particular frequencies and vibrations, they knew that they would have a specific impact and effect on mankind. They implemented these types of frequency technologies eons ago, back in the ancient past. They talk about it in several ancient texts. They talk about the power of frequency and vibration, not only to affect consciousness, but also to affect solid matter. As a matter of fact, the walls of Jericho, written in the biblical text, you see that they get a specific number of people to surround that wall and begin to utter a mantra, and the vibration and frequency of that mantra, the actual sound waves collapse the actual structure. But we see this time and time again in the ancient past, where even one of the Anunnaki gods named Enlil used frequency and cymatics to alter the mindset of people, to get them to cooperate. We see in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, in the opening scenes, as he's getting out of his sky ship, walking onto the land of Kemet, the people there came to attack him with clubs. And he raised his staff and sent out a ray of vibration, stopping them still as fragments of stone of the mountain. That's the actual quote. So we know that these ancients understood frequency and vibration very well. As a matter of fact, even in that text, Thoth references the fact that this frequency and vibration has the ability to raise mankind up to seek the light. So they knew that there was an effect on mankind and solid matter. One other area of the text, Thoth the Atlantean talks about being able to manifest solid matter from light and cymatic frequencies. He even gives the particular cymatic frequencies to utter. And so, which I wrote about in my book, scientists about maybe a year and a half ago now, in a laboratory, actually did this for the first time. You can look it up on physics.org. They took photons and cymatic frequencies and manifested solid matter for the first time in a laboratory setting. First time in what we call modern times. But the ancients had already accomplished this. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because you need to understand that the frequencies that we are taking in on a daily basis from all around us, from every particular angle, are directly having an effect on our ability to manifest, our consciousness, effect on our belief system, our perspectives, and everything else. And of course, a direct effect on the cells in our body. The EMFs, the electromagnetic frequencies that are being sent at us and surrounding us all day long from our devices, our electronic devices, toxic. The 5G, 4G, 3G frequencies, and now soon the 6G frequency, extremely toxic to the cells in the body. These microwave technologies, they do to us exactly what they do to your food when you put them in the microwave. They create a vibration within the atoms, so the atoms begin to resonate at higher and higher frequencies, and that creates friction, and that friction then internally creates heat, and that's how you heat your food up in a microwave oven. Well, now, take a living organism like a human being. All of a sudden, these microwave frequencies are speeding up the vibration of atoms inside of our bodies, and those atoms are, of course, what make up the cells in our body. And when those atoms become out of sync, out of harmonious communication with the vibration of your avatar body, what begins to happen is the cells become malformed, and those malformed cells then turn into cancer. all atoms vibrate at particular frequencies. However, if you take atoms that have built up into different molecules and create different vibrations within those molecules, well then, those molecules transform. It's chemistry. And that's what's happening inside of our bodies when these particular frequencies hit us. It's creating a chemistry set out of the human body, right? If I take H2O, which is a molecule, right? H2O, hydrogen, one hydrogen atom and two oxygen atoms, I create water. Now, if I heat that water by creating friction or vibration in a microwave, what happens to the water? It turns into another type of gas called steam. Why does it transform? Well, because the atoms have begun to vibrate at a very high frequency. Now it's not water anymore. Now I can recondense it back into water through a process of distillation. But if you don't have a distillation plant built into your body, how are you reconstituting that water? I'm using this as a metaphor example to show you that these frequencies are affecting your physiology at the subatomic level. With this knowledge, with this understanding, you can begin to see how you can have a skewed version or altered version of reality just based on your physiology and how these waves affect consciousness, because they do. Your nervous system is a receiver of Wi-Fi, EMF, and media broadcast, and all that does is imprint into your body, and your cells begin to celebrate on those frequencies. And the next thing you know, you have now succumbed to those frequencies in many different formats. The Schumann resonance of the Earth is actually Earth's heartbeat, and they discovered this recently in Africa. They discovered an area in Africa through satellite photography and videography, and also ground penetrating radar, that there's this specific heartbeat coming out of an area in Africa, which ends up being, now they've labeled it Earth's actual heartbeat, because Earth is alive. Earth is also conscious. And, you know, it's no wonder why humanity feels like we're connected to the Earth and Earth is connected to us. It's because Earth is a living being. Right? If we take care of it, it will take care of us. And it's been taking care of us even though we have been disrespectful to it. And all these frequencies and vibrations that we're creating are directly affecting Earth as a whole as well. And so you have to understand how brainwave manipulation, it begins to work. Just like we're creating frequencies and vibrations that are targeting ourselves. Well, there are people that are running organizations that highly target ads, media, news, fake news, right? They have a way, an understanding of how to tune that information to a specific frequency called 440 hertz. So they know that 440 hertz is really the music industry standard, the production quality standard, and that they know that that particular frequency disrupts DNA, it disrupts the cells, it disrupts the mind. And so once that was discovered, it's no wonder why they transferred everything into 440 hertz. It used to be 432, which is harmonious with the human body and consciousness. But when they realized that 440 hertz was damaging and can actually create dis-ease in the body, dis-ease begins to become disease. And then once you get the disease, you end up pushing up daisies. Once they realized this, they were like, wow, we can create a lot of customers just through broadcasting music. So even the broadcasting, the music, the TV programming, and all these devices, if you ever wondered why they were so toxic, well, it's by design. You have to begin to realize that they're heavily involved in brain manipulation and cellular manipulation in your body for the purposes of controlling you and turning you into a pharmaceutical patient. And that's exactly what they've done. And so a lot of these are the reasons why we can't manifest, is because we're being bombarded by all of these frequencies, these toxic frequencies. And They want to keep you docile, they want to keep you anxious, and they want to keep you in fear because that makes you very malleable. The more malleable you are, the easier it is for them to control you. And that's their ultimate goal, control, domination, and keeping you sick and weak. The weaker you are and the sicker you are, the less you're able to have even a need to want to fight back, or an urge to want to fight back, an urge to try to overcome. You will just succumb to everything and you'll just acquiesce and let everything go as it is, and you become a sheep and go with the flow. And they understand this. This is why they've done it. You know, science, in neuroscience, they've understood now and they've learned the power of entrainment. They've learned that they can manipulate the human mind, and they learned that they can consistently hit you with the same frequencies over and over and over again, and they can even hit you with the same cymatic statements, in other words, words that have meaning, and they can hit you with those over and over and over again. And this is why if you tune into many different news stations when there's some type of, occurrence going on, whether it be political or geological or whatever, every news station will say the same exact thing. They'll be reading from a script. And this script that they're reading is for entrainment programming. And just like when the global sickness happened on this planet, you know what I'm talking about, they use those same frequencies and cymatics and vibrations to entrain us into fear, docile, into locking ourselves away, into not being able to communicate and touch and hug and kiss our own loved ones. They entrained us into a complete fear society where we accepted the status quo. We didn't question anything. Well, some of us didn't question anything. And that they can also then begin to give us the Jabberwowski, if you know what I mean, okay, for the purpose of adding a little bit of poison to our genome, and that they could profit on, and also making us even further more docile and more sick, so that we can come back and buy even more medication. It's a vicious cycle that they've created here on this planet to keep you from manifesting your highest level and to keep you from becoming your truest, strongest, most powerful self. And it's really a shame, because if we had everything vibrating at 428 hertz and 528 hertz, which can be done in most cases, and there are other resonant frequencies that vibrate well with the human body, like 928, 936, and others, but they just seem to dismiss those and frown on those, and most places don't even think about encoding, information that way or frequencies that way. Not because it costs any extra money, but because you wouldn't be sick, you wouldn't be depressed, you wouldn't be in fear, you wouldn't be anxious, right? You'd be healing, and your DNA would be respooling properly, and your cells would be, manifesting properly. And you would be a person that has a much stronger knowledge of self, and you would feel healthier and stronger, which means that you would be a person that'd be more apt to fight back, okay, against any kind of oppression. We have to understand that our bodies are bioelectric temples. People always talk about they have to go to the temple on the weekend. Well, your temples are right here. These are your temples, all right? And when you understand that your temple is the body, you will begin to respect it more with what you're putting into your body. Now, everyone's got to have a cheat day or two, right? You must treat yourself. So I'm not one of these radical dietitian type people. But for the most part, most of the time, we should be putting healthy, good, clean food in our bodies. I believe in rewarding yourself every now and then with something, but don't even overdo that, because everything has to do with balance, right? Today I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now. You can tell I'm in a hotel room. And today what's famous here is chicken and waffles. So today I had chicken and waffles for breakfast. Now, did I eat the entire thing? No. I took a really nice photo of it. I was like, wow, this is beautiful, because the presentation was amazing. I ate about close to 2/3 of it, and maybe just slightly under 2/3, at least most of the chicken. I didn't eat the waffle, all of the waffle. But the point I'm making is, I gave myself a little snack. I haven't had the chicken and waffles in probably, I don't even know, maybe 2 years, number one. Number two, I don't go out to eat in Atlanta that often. I'm usually here for a business meeting or a podcast, and I hop back on a plane and I'm gone again. I'm just in and out, and so there's not many times I get a chance to eat that. And since I don't have it that often, and at my house, I don't have snacks. I don't have juice. I don't believe in drinking any kind of juices at all, fruit juices. And I don't care how organic you say the juices are, they're just pure sugar. And I don't drink, smoke, do any kind of drug or anything else. So every now and then there's a little bit of, hey, let me have a little bit of this, this chicken and waffle or whatever it is. I'll have a slice of a pie or something. It's okay. It's okay to do that. And I want to I took a little extra time to emphasize that because I don't want people to become radicals. Okay, don't become a radical. Eat healthy, eat clean, exercise at least 4 times a week. And once a week or twice a week, if you want to have a little snack, do that. Just don't do it all week long. Otherwise, you'll be working out for nothing. Okay, I wanted to overemphasize that point because I think it's important to point out. Also, we have to guard our thoughts. All week long, we're going to face challenges. I've been up now since 4 a.m. today, and I've already faced quite a few challenges. And it's all about how you overcome the challenges, right? It's all about how you see those as challenges, how you overcome them, how you realize that those challenges are not problems per se, but they are just issues that need solutions. So you have to begin to think from the solutions provider mindset instead of a crybaby mindset. And why is this happening to me? And how am I going to get out of this? And how do I fix this situation? And what's going to happen? And all those crazy thoughts. Instead of that, I instantaneously go to, okay, this is the situation. Okay, great. Now, let me start masterminding how I can navigate this. That's where I go. That's where my mind goes. My mind goes to, okay, let's mastermind this situation. Let's figure it out. Let's solve this problem and move on. Okay. And so if you take on the solutions provider mindset, you'll be able to move through those crazy thoughts and those crazy situations much easier. And as things happen to you throughout the day or as you begin to get negative thoughts, you will be able to navigate those thoughts, process them, and get back into a positive mindset a lot faster. And those thoughts, I call them, as you know before, ants, automatic negative thoughts. And when those come in, they can really do some damage to everything you're working on. And then another thing is very important is breath, right? Breath work, taking a moment when there is a stressful situation. Sometimes when I see a situation that can cause anxiety or stress, I'm not going to be the person that's not going to say, oh, there's no anxiety here. There's no stress here. No, that's false. That's a lie. If somebody tells you that they've completely evaded stress and anxiety, they're lying to you. What I do is I take a quick break. If I'm working from home, I'll go outside in the yard, get grounded, take 15 to 30 deep breaths, get back in brain-heart coherence. Sometimes I'll go for a short walk, taking deep breaths, breathing the proper way from the abdomen and really taking in deep breaths and letting it, holding it at the highest point and then releasing it through the mouth and just getting my nervous system back in alignment, getting my mind calmed down, getting my heart rate back in alignment. Even if I don't feel too erratic, I just do it anyway because it just gets me back down to a grounded state where I can think properly and make logical decisions. That's so important. A lot of us aren't making logical decisions in critical moments because we are out of coherence. And when you're out of coherence, you won't be able to manifest anything but more stress and more anxiety. And we have to understand that money is a frequency. So if you're panicked about something dealing with money, now you're panicking about a frequency. You're not panicking about money. You're allowing the frequency of the instrument called money to affect your physiology, and that's not good. Never panic about money. Never panic about a financial situation, okay? Just don't do it because you're torturing yourself. The best thing you can do is understand how do you get on the frequency of attracting the money. Not to chase the money, not to be afraid of the money, not to be afraid of the fact that there appears to be in that moment a lack of it, but understanding that you are already abundant and to get on the frequency of that abundance. That's what we teach in the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. Matter of fact, I'm going to be live here in just about maybe 30 minutes or so I'll be live inside the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. Okay, I'll be live inside the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. And I'll be teaching session number 6 on the millionaire codes. You don't want to miss that. It's been a very, very successful course. I've been teaching every single week live. So I'll be doing live Q&A and everything at the end of that. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you click the link in the caption of this video, in the live chat, or the link in the bio, wherever you're listening, seeing, or hearing this podcast, and join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy ASAP and get a live teaching tonight in live Q&A. I'll answer your questions tonight in the live Q&A. So don't miss that. And so money is a frequency that you have to learn how to get on the vibration of. Money has no real value. Matter of fact, if you were in a cave, in an ice cave in Alaska, and you got stranded there, and all you had was a bag full of $1 million and a match, and you knew that if you didn't get heat, you'd probably die in that cave that night. You'd die from a pulmonary edema or something worse. So what do? You look at that bag of money as kindle, and you get that match out, or that lighter out, and you light it on fire, just to give yourself a few more hours of staying warm, to give you a chance, a hope of getting rescued from that cave. So at that moment, the value of money became heat to keep you alive. Didn't have any monetary instrumental value to go buy anything, but what it did when it generated that heat, that carbon, that when you turned the paper into carbon through a chemical process, that heat, it gave you the ability to stay alive longer by giving your cells and your core warmth to allow your body to process and not go into hypothermia. So at that moment, that was the value of the money. So money only has the consciously attributed value that we give it, that we assign it in the moment. Other than that, it has no value at all. So don't panic over money situations. Just find a solution and find a way to navigate the situation. Focus your energy there, and you'll be more successful. We teach these specific techniques inside the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. I literally hold your hand and walk you through it step by step by step, and I give you exercises to do. And in there, you'll have to post those exercises as well. So we're going to hold you accountable for doing the work. Something that you probably don't have right now, accountability. And in there, you're going to get this collective synchronization of effort towards becoming better, towards self-improvement, towards knowledge of self, towards building yourself up, and towards manifesting your goals, right? If it's abundance, that's the key thing, abundance. How do you get on the frequency of abundance? How do we collectively hold ourselves accountable so that we are doing the work every single day? That's what we do inside of the Academy. Meditation groups work well. Culture-aligned communities do very well. And the reason why they do well is because people are on the same frequency. And when you're on the same frequency, it allows you to resonate with the people around you, even though they're virtual. In other words, you might not be sitting directly next to someone, but because they're in this academy together with you, and you guys are resonating on the same frequency, well, then it allows you to become a better version of yourself naturally. You just naturally evolve and develop new habits that benefit humanity and yourself versus the opposite. And that's why these types of communities do very well. If you look around you outside of the community, you might not be able to find anyone that's on your frequency, or very few people on your frequency that you can sit and talk to for hours, that will come and check on you to see if you got your assignments done, right? In this realm, and you just don't have it. But that's why the community is very, very important, because there's over 1,000 people in there, all waiting for you to post something so they can make sure they like it, support it, and also confirm it and hold you accountable for the ones that you finally committed to doing. It's a powerful thing, okay? It's very, very powerful. And you have to learn how to, through this process, detox your field, retune in, reclaim your true power, reclaim your energy. It's all part of the transformation of the mind the transformation of knowledge of self, and the transformation of consciousness. When you begin to follow the steps and understand that these frequencies and these vibrations that they're pouring into us and onto us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they affect us from the embryonic stage all the way until the last breath we take. How do we combat that? We can only combat that with knowledge, but not just knowledge, how to activate the actual knowledge, how to act on it and multiply it by action so we can get manifestations. And so that's the hidden part. That's the secret that everyone's missing. Not everyone, but a lot of people are missing. The fact that they don't understand that there's ways to navigate this matrix in ways that they've never even conceived before. And fortunately, myself and my team, my coaching team, we've been able to navigate these same fields and been able to really get great results within our lives. That doesn't mean you're going to have a perfect life, because I damn sure don't have a perfect life. But what it does mean is that you can manifest abundance and you can live the life of your dreams. Now, even though my life isn't perfect, I literally would not trade it for anyone else's life. I have lived the life of 10 men already. I literally have lived the life of 10 men. There are people that will live their entire life and not even achieve or come close to 1/4 of the things that I've been able to do and experience in this realm, in this third dimension, in this lifetime. It's just a fact. And I'm only 53 going on 54 in September, a few days away. And it's not bragging, it's just an absolute fact. So we have to understand that make the most of this life, make the most of your experiences. And if you're in the right frequencies most of the time, you can literally manifest a fantastic life. I've traveled this world now 23 times. I've been around the world. I've seen things, experienced different cultures. I've gained wisdom and knowledge. I've taught wisdom and knowledge. I've applied wisdom and knowledge. I've seen the effect of it. I've gotten on the vibration and frequency of abundance and maintained and sustained abundance. I've done a lot of the things I'm teaching. Is it always going to be perfect? No, it's just not. That's just the way life's. But if we can control at least 2/3 of what's happening to us, think about how magnificent your life could be if 2/3 of it were based on your own actions, your own conscious thoughts, and your own manifestations, versus letting everyone program you with these frequencies and vibrations and cymatics and news feeds and all these different polarities, versus you having control over 2/3 of it at least. There's always going to be things that you just can't control. It happens to me too. But if you can control 2/3 of your own life, wow, you can really create an incredible life. And I feel like I've lived an incredible life. Yes, I got off to a very, very rough start in the ghetto. But man, once I overcame that obstacle, I mean, you just got to look at my feeds to learn and see. I've done just about everything. Whatever experience I wanted, I pretty much achieved. And you can do the same thing. And that's why the Forbidden Knowledge Academy was formed. We're talking about mastery. Mastery will equal awareness. And once you have that awareness, you're going to be able to see this frequency war going on all around you. You'll be able to understand the frequency war. You'll be able to feel it and sense it. You'll be able to know it. It's palpable. You can taste it. But once you master that and you bring the awareness to that and you understand exactly what's happening to you, you will realize, wow, they have been coming after me my entire life, since before I was even born. It's time to change the narrative. It's time for you to take control of your destiny, take control of your life, and become the most important person in your relationship, which is yourself. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship you can have. And that's why we formed the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. If you want to learn how to grow, begin to manifest the life of your desires, begin to break old habits and build new positive habits, reprogram your subconscious mind, understand how to navigate all the different matrices that actually exist, because there are more than one, join us in the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. Over 1,000 of us are in there right now, working together, building together, and shifting the paradigm together to build a huge network that eventually will empower mankind to become the people that we're destined to be. So click the link in the caption, in the live chat, or in my bio, and I'll see you shortly inside the Forbidden Knowledge Academy, because tonight I'm actually gonna go live and teach session number 6 of the Millionaire Codes. So make sure you join ASAP so you can get the link and join me in class